we will always have the opportunity to be selfless. We won't always have the opportunity to be pretty.
So let's first talk about how to build up our kids with our words.
Okay, well, Proverbs 10:11 says the mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life. So our words can be a fountain of life. Encouraging words are like juicy peaches in summer. They fill us up. They're refreshing to hear. And so I find that it's so much easier, maybe we all agree, that to find issues with our children versus things that are good happening in the day. And so it's important for us to purpose to find positive, real things, sincere things that we can say about how they've behaved. And I like to focus on character. You can also focus on their work abilities and things like that too. Let's say they've been struggling with math and day after day, it's just a struggle. It's not their favorite subject. And you see them just pulling out the book and starting again the next day. Applaud them for persevering and saying, I know this is a subject that you don't love. And this is great that you are learning how to persevere and do something that is important to do that you don't love to do. Because there are things in our life growing up and once we become adults that we will have to do that we don't love, that we have to learn how to do anyway, and taxes for one. Who loves taxes? So look for things that we can be positive and sincere about. So you have a child who colors this picture that you don't know what it is. And it's beautiful. It's a little toddler and he spent time, and you want to say something positive. You can talk about the color choices or how you took a lot of time and you diligently did that. And they're giving it to you, how thoughtful they are and selfless to make something for someone else. So we want to praise the things that are praiseworthy without saying, let's say they were, spent time having a tantrum before that, but when they finished it, you're looking for the positive things. Yes, we need to address the tantrums. And yes, we need to talk about the negative things too. But when we're trying to praise them, we want to praise the things that are going to last. You look pretty today is a fine thing to say, but it will not go as far as you shared with your sister today. That was really selfless of you. And that's a blessing because we will always have the opportunity to be selfless. We won't always have the opportunity to be pretty.
Right.
Right. And so we want to look for those words of encouragement that will be sincere and develop a pattern to where they'll hopefully mimic those with their siblings, or they will look for that type of uplifting way of encouraging each other. It's biblical. We're being a light to our family. That is I kept telling myself as a mom, I'm a light to my family. How can I be a light to my family? And I love to use the analogy of salt, but that's actually very important. So I'm going to talk about that really quickly.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Colossians 4:6 says, let your speech be always gracious, seasoned with salt, to know how to answer others. Okay, so as a scientist, I love teaching science, talk about science. I began to reflect on that. How can our words be seasoned with salt? Well, what does salt do? You think about salt. Salt is an enhancer. One of my favorite snacks is a dark chocolate with sea salt.
Oh, yes.
Candy bar. Yeah, right. You take a bite.
With caramel inside.
Oh, well, of course. Absolutely. But that sea salt, think about what it does. You're taking your bite, you get a little bit of that salt, and it just makes it explosion delicious, right? It's so much better. Salt enhances things. That's why when we make sweet goods like cookies, there's salt in them. You could have an experiment with your kids and make some with salt and without. The ones without salt are not going to be as sweet tasting because salt is an enhancer. So words that are salted with the truth of the gospel. They're salted. They will enhance what you say. They will make it more worth listening because it's much more powerful by having these salted words seasoned with truth. And then they also endure. So we use salt as a preservative. Yeah. We use salt, we salt meats in the days before refrigeration. That's how they kept things longer, because putting salt on it, it removes the moisture so bacteria can't get in there. So salt is a preservative. It preserves things. And so when you think about that, words that are salted words with the truth will last longer. They will endure. They will stay in your children's minds and hearts longer. And so that is how we need to be thinking about looking for ways intentionally, building the relationship with them, telling our heart when we mess up, going to them, go through that conflict resolution, and looking at how we can continue to salt the words that we have so that our kids will be refreshed by it.